Here you go. Miami's planning on going 52-0 this year. And as you know, Andrew, you were on our Miami show for a little early preview for Miami and Texas A&M. I'm looking forward to that game on both sides. I know that both teams field a lot of talent, but there are question marks, of course, and maybe more so. There are question marks for every team, but even more so than most teams at that level of talent on both sides. And we're only going to find out so much the first couple of weeks of the season. But as Joey facetiously says here, how possibly can Texas A&M win this game, even though they're like probably a 7 or 8 point favorite at this point?
Joey, at this point in the year, everybody thinks they're going to go 52-0. So that's you talk to every fan base right about now, and they think they've got a national championship contender and team that can get to the college football playoff. And then by week 2, week 3, you start to get some thinking, oh shoot, we maybe not this year, maybe next year we'll be there. No, but then in all seriousness, I do think it's going to be a fascinating matchup. Brian, my coworker, and I have talked about this quite a bit on our podcast this summer as well, that Tyler Van Dyke's a guy that a lot of people are viewing as a potential first-round quarterback. And so it's going to be a really good test for that A&M defense early on. I look at it, and I know we covered this on the podcast before, but that's the last time A&M is going to be at home for quite a while. And so I look at that as a pretty huge game, considering after that you get into the meat of the SEC schedule. And for A&M, it starts pretty quickly with Arkansas at Jerry World, then at Mississippi State, at Alabama, and at South Carolina. And so that Miami game for A&M is pretty huge. And I think one of the things I would say is A&M's been pretty darn good at home the past couple of years, and Kyle Field's not an easy place to play in, and I expect for the first game, that's really the first game of the year, fans will really have circled. I think Kyle Field's going to be rocking for that one. It should be an awesome environment. You got the schedule pulled up there. I think it's a huge game for A&M, and just from the Miami side, when we talked with them, I think that's a game that A&M's going to stress Miami defensively, especially with a guy like Devon Achane. If they're not able to stop the run, then he could be in for a big day. And I think that was one of the big points that we kind of talked about at the linebacker and defensive line level. And so I expect that's where A&M will give Miami some problems, but they're going to need to score points because, Tyler Van Dyke's is certainly going to be a guy that comes in with a lot of buzz and looking to kind of cement his draft stock and put on a big performance on a big stage.
As you mentioned here, Andrew, and you said this before when we got together, this is a bit of a scheduling quirk. Now, there is a bye involved and there is a neutral site game, but still, I don't know if you could find a team in college football that played at home coming up this fall on September 17th and doesn't make it back to home until October 29th. But again, that's the Miami game at home. Then, as Andrew mentions, Arkansas, that's been a neutral site game since they joined the SEC, right? Since Texas A&M,
and I think every year one that I think the contract runs through 2024. And, if you talk to Ross Bjork, I think he's eager to get that game back on campuses. And I think Arkansas kind of feels the same way. And so we'll see what happens at that point. But until then, it's at AT&T Stadium.
Then 3 consecutive road games with a bye before South Carolina. So a very odd 4 consecutive non-home games and a bye that keeps the team away from Kyle Field for 5 to 6 weeks there.
So huge game just on that perspective, just looking at, that Miami game is one you feel like if A&M wants to have the season that they want to have and get to 10 wins and get to, be in college football playoff contention, that's a game they've got to win.